Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the latest BCS Author Webinar Series 2025. I'm Ian Borthwick, Head of Publishing here at BCS, and I'm delighted to be joined today by the authors of Introduction to AI Testing, Iosif, Dmitrii, Iuliia, and Anna Maria, who will be talking to you briefly about everything important about the adoption and adaptation of AI, the skills and needs for AI testing as well. Quickly, just like to introduce you to the series. This is part of the series which we've been running for the best part of this year. We will be recording this session. This is actually being recorded as we speak, and it will be saved to a YouTube playlist once we have finished the event, and probably within a week, though it's normally much quicker than that, of the event. And we'll share the link to the playlist in the chat as we go ahead. If you have any questions, please do post those in the Q&A section, and we will be dealing with the Q&A at the end of the webinar. If you can't find the Q&A or if you start using the chat, that's not the end of the world. I will try and monitor that and make sure that we have those questions lined up for delivery at the right point in time further into the session. Right, so without further ado then, I would like to invite the authors to introduce themselves and to tell us more about their book.
Hello, everyone. Yes, can you hear me well?
Very good. Yeah.
Yes, good. Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Maria Lupina, and I'm Outreach Director of ExactPro's educational project, AI Testing. And we are going to discuss our recently released book, Introduction to AI Testing, Guide to ISTQB CTEI certifications. And on the next slide, we're going to go through all the descriptions. Let's move on to the next one. With me today are the co-authors of the book and colleagues working at ExactPro. I'll go through each of you. Please say hello. Iosif, our CEO and co-founder of ExactPro. Hi, Iosif.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Iosif has more than 20 years of experience in software testing and development and has held many technology roles: software developer, performance testing department lead, technology architect, and he worked on a number of global financial industry initiatives. And his experience is at the intersection of high availability systems and capital markets. It has enabled him to successfully facilitate technology transformations across exchanges, clearing houses, and other complex systems. Iuliia Emelianova. Hi, Iuliia.
Hello.
Hi, good to hear you. She is a data scientist, researcher, and lecturer with ExactPro, and she holds PhD in physics and mathematics, with an extensive background on the edge of the academia, IT, and financial services. Dmitrii Dikterenko. Hi, Dmitrii.
Hello.
Hi. He is a creative manager and developer of educational programs with ExactPro, and he is responsible for ISTQB courses within the company. He has Master of Scientist degree in economics. And me, in the very end, I'm marketing director, outreach director of the course. I have software testing background overall, and I hold a MS degree in information services and technology and digital marketing. And this book is about AI, but this book is about AI with a focus on software testing. So ExactPro a little bit about it. ExactPro provides AI-enabled software testing. That's why we created the book. We've been working for 16 years already with complex systems across 24 countries, been focusing on improving scalability, latency, operability of the systems. And as the foundation of the book, there is ISTQB materials. We've been supporting International Software Testing Qualification Board, ISTQB, its certifications, its community, to promote software testing excellence among as many young and established practitioners as possible, because we believe that software testing is important. Let's go to the next slide.
Software testing is important in all sectors of economy. Technology is now one of the main assets for many organizations, and AI itself is also software and software technology. It is very important to understand the assets that you use. Warren Buffett once said, never invest into something you do not understand. Software testing is understanding through experimentation and exploration. Doing something without proper information often leads to problems in military, in medicine, in transportation, in information security, everywhere. That's why we are so passionate about software testing as a way of exploring things. And we are always struggling and striving to make it better.
Let's move on to the next slide. That was a little background about the company, but let's take a closer look at the book.
All right, I'll start here. So let's take a step back and take a bird's eye view of the book. As you can see, it has 11 chapters. But to help you navigate the content more effectively, the 11 chapters of the book are divided into 4 parts. You can see them highlighted here. I wish I could draw the slide, but I can't. Each of these 4 parts focusing on a specific area of AI and its relation to testing. So the structure, as Anna Maria mentioned before, follows the ISTQB CTAI syllabus, while also extensively expanding it on key topics to support deeper practical and hands-on understanding of the subject. So chapters 1 and 2 begin by laying the foundations. Chapters 3 through 6 dive into the brain of AI and machine learning. Chapters 7 through 10 shift from understanding AI into testing it, while chapter 11 turns the tables. And instead of testing AI, we focus on testing with AI or using AI to test. So I think I can. All right, I can switch the slide by myself. Look at that.
No, you can't.
No, you
we
can't.
need to ask Ian to switch it.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next slide.
So on the other hand, did you switch the slide? Okay.
Slide
It's
6
already switched.
Okay. So on the one hand, it's a study guide for the ISTQB certified tester in AI testing exam. So hence the title. But in reality, it's much more than that. It is designed for anyone navigating the world in practice, be software testers, developers, data scientists, fintech specialists, and even regulators. So our mission is simple: to bridge the gap between theory and practice. AI is full of complexity and buzzwords, and this book tries to ground those concepts in practical terms, helping you not only to pass the exam, ISTQB exam, but also begin to apply AI testing confidently in their daily work. So as you can see, the 4 parts and the thickness of parts kind of corresponds to the size of the part within the book. Let's do this next slide. Next slide, please.
We're on next slide. You might have got disconnected from the current slide, Dmitrii.
Okay, sorry. All right, sorry. So what sets this book apart that it doesn't stop on the ISTQB syllabus? So every part of the book, every chapter is designed to make a learning stick, not just by reading theory, but also through, we got parts like industry insights. So which talk about real world case studies from companies like Amazon, Microsoft, or Applitools. We got parts like theory to practice, practical application here on the slide, which shows practical examples that connect abstract ideas to real world applications of AI. We got hands-on activities, which my colleagues will talk about a little bit more later, and they will include Python-based tasks and GitHub resources for readers to try. And also, since the book is focusing on giving you an opportunity to pass the ISTQB exam, it also gives you exam-style questions and self-assessments to prepare readers for certification and ensuring they can explain concepts in their own words. The book also includes a glossary to help you navigate and make sense of often overwhelming AI terminology. So this blend of rigor and accessibility makes the book valuable not only for exam candidates, but for anybody wanting to apply AI responsibly. Now, let's walk through 4 parts of the book. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're on the next slide. So part 1.
Yes.
Part 1, it's called Introduction to AI and AI-based systems. This part lays the foundation by introducing the core concepts of AI and how AI-based systems differ from traditional systems. So we have an example here, AI, narrow AI, general AI, super AI, and so on and so forth. There's more than just this picture. This picture is just an example of what we have. Somebody's saying that they can't see the slides, by the way. Ian?
I can see the slides.
It's okay, Dmitrii, you
Yeah,
carry
me
on,
too.
mate.
Okay. All right. It also covers main AI technologies and outlines essential topics such as pre-trained models, transfer learning, and AI as a service. It also addresses characteristics of AI. That's on the right side of the slide, like flexibility, autonomy, bias, and ethical considerations, setting up the stage for understanding how these elements influence the design and behavior of AI-based systems, and more about that a little bit later in our presentation. Next slide, please.
Yeah, I hope that everyone who have not seen slides now are able to see those. We are moving to the regulations and standards section. And what I wanted to say is throughout the book, special attention is given to the principles that guide responsible AI development and testing, which is nowadays is essential, and awareness of standards and regulations within the industry and even within the region play a vital role when adopting new technologies within especially within the organization, on the scale of organization. So the book provides a list of regulations that are currently in place, that were currently in place at the time we wrote the book, 2025. And all these regulations are related to usage of AI, the usage of AI, AI-based systems, and the usage of the data itself. Let's move to machine learning and data processing.
Chapters 3 through 6 form the second part of the book, which focuses on machine learning, the backbone of most AI-based systems. This part explores the machine learning development workflow, from understanding the objective to building an algorithm to testing and to the actual use of the model. It also covers performance metrics and introduces neural networks, which gained immense popularity thanks to the success of AI tools such as ChatGPT. Please go to the next slide. The second part also focuses on data preparation in the machine learning workflow, which includes gathering, cleaning, labeling, engineering useful features, and exploring data patterns. It highlights key challenges such as ensuring data quality, avoiding bias, handling complex pipelines, and balancing scalability with performance. This part explains how training, validation, and test datasets are used and why their quality matters. Here you can find one of our 3 hands-on exercises called Identify training and test data and create machine learning model. And this is where you get to try on the role of a machine learning engineer and practice your skills based on the theoretical knowledge you have acquired using our book. Please go to the next slide. And you can check your solutions and review the correct results for all the hands-on exercises on our open source GitHub page. Feel free to explore it and reach out to us with any questions or feedback. And to the next slide, please.
Now we're going to cover testing the chapter 7 and 8 with testing AI-based systems.
Yes, so software testing is my favorite subject. So chapters 7 and 8, to a degree, my favorite ones. Socrates, a quote attributed to Socrates is that the definition of terms is the beginning of wisdom. We've tried to put the most accurate and definitions into both chapters to reflect both state of the art in the industry and also our own understanding of the software testing practice. So I believe both chapters are very deep in the sense that one of them explores the foundations of software testing, and another is looking to explore the quality characteristics of the self-learning systems. It outlines challenges of the systems of the software that is autonomous, probabilistic, non-deterministic, and many other things that can potentially go wrong in such systems. We cover questions of transparency, interpretability, and explainability of the test results for complex platforms. I'm especially proud of the sections related to test oracles and the search for the ground truth. So all chapters in the book are nice, which is just 7 and 8 are my favorite ones.
Let's move on to the next slide where it covers some examples of AI adoption challenges. Iosif, do you want to comment on that as well?
Sure. So there are many things related to testing AI-based systems and specific techniques such as metamorphic testing, back-to-back testing, as well as covering various testing levels and methods specifically tailored to AI-enabled, AI-based features, how to deal with algorithmic bias, how to deal with non-determinism, how to deal with lack of transparency, etc. So chapters 9 and 10 focus on interesting and critical things like test data and test environments. So these are two aspects that can make or break any software testing project for a complex system. And for AI-enabled systems, these two aspects are very, very, very important and should be on top of somebody's mind when you are involved in doing software testing for such systems.
Thank you, Iosif. Moving on to my favorite part. As you mentioned, 7 and 8 chapters are your favorites, but mine is the last one, part 4, testing with AI. This is the final part of the book, and this is actually the reason why you need to read that. Eventually, we all end up using AI, and you need to know how to. And chapter 11 demonstrates how AI can become a valuable part of the tester's toolkit, as a reminder that the whole book is with the focus of software testing. So we've been focusing on the way how to implement AI within this chapter, specifically how to implement AI within your software testing cycle. And it partially addresses AI adoption challenges that were identified in the previous chapters, and discusses how AI-enabled solutions can optimize overall software testing processes. And on the next slide, we are going to, on the next slide is the part of the from theory to practice section that Dmitrii mentioned in the very beginning, that we've divided the book into several sections with the practical aspect, industry aspect, questions, examples, and so on. So this part from theory to practice section includes an example of how within our company, ExactPro, tackles the task of assessing the quality of a trading system, of a complex system, non-deterministic system, which is very much similar in a way based on the characteristics to AI-based system. In that section, we on a high level covered where exactly we have been using AI-enabled tools. We've been sharing how to enhance traditional testing activities such as regression, suite optimization, test case generation, defect prediction, and so on. And in addition to that, we have added another hands-on exercise that Iuliia mentioned previously. Another one is dedicated to how to build a defect prediction system. And as a reminder, all the materials that we've been using for hands-on exercises, 3 of them basically, but we mentioned only 2 within this presentation. All these materials are located on the GitHub page and are open with open access to anyone who is willing to check them out. Basically, that's it. Let's move to another slide to show the cat with the book that we just recently had an event where we had a soft launch of the book. This is one of the pictures that we made so far. We tried to cover the most interesting parts of the book, but it was really hard to pick what to talk about, as each of the chapters provides a lot of valuable information, and each of the chapters are our favorite ones. Different authors have their own opinions of what is the best chapter, basically. But all of them have valuable information, especially for those who are starting their journey with AI. And basically, we are happy to answer the questions you have based on what we shared. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anne-Maria, Iosif, Dmitrii, and Iuliia so far. I missed the first few minutes. Is the book available? The book is available, Jason. Just so you know, there is a comment in the chat if you want to check it out with a promo code for the book, so you can get 20% off whether it's in print or the ebook. One thing that would be really useful, Anne-Marie, if you don't mind, is if you could post the link to the GitHub in the chat as well. I think that would be useful. So yeah, I mean, we're open for any questions. There are some popping up in the Q&A. Let me say first of all, if you've been trying to join and you've had to join twice, that's been Microsoft Teams today giving us a bit of a ride. So my apologies for that. We had the same issue with the presenters, and so yeah, I've been frantically pressing the admit button to try and make sure everybody gets in in good time. So yes. There is a quick question here. I will add a second question after this one. But what's the difference between the CT AI course and the CT Gen AI?
So the book, we didn't mention that before, but the book is basically has the foundation and the history behind. We first started, as we are endorsing ISTQB community, as I mentioned, and we've been following principles, software testing principles that we're talking about, and they're covering. And we have educated our whole team with first foundation level of ISTQB, and when ISTQB issued CTEI, certified tester in artificial intelligence, so that's the title, certification, we have felt that there is a need to educate our team as well, and that the syllabus that been issued by ISTQB was the foundation for the training course that we created internally, and then we decided to share it publicly with external teams and companies. And then we thought this is a valuable bespoke content that we created so far. We expanded it in every single section to make sure that this is clear, transparent, and with a very good flow of information. That's how the book was born, basically. So for all readers that are currently looking with the interest to learn about the book and read the book, the next step of the book would be a practical application of everything that you learned and read. Those hands-on exercises that were included within the book, that's only 3 of them, just because we are not able to include all the hands-on and all the code within the printing material overall, but you are free to go further and check training course and workshops, basically to apply those skills and knowledge that you just read within the book, practically with the exercises that we offer.
Sure. I will cover the topic of the differences between 2 syllabi, one that is CTI, the one this book is based on, and a newer one that is Gen AI one. So historically, ISTQB materials differ in the level of effort involved into developing them. There are materials that involve work of, I would say, hundreds of thousands of practitioners over many years. So that's why some of syllabuses out there available, they are very good and very detailed. And of course, foundation level, certified tester foundation level is an example of such tremendous work. There are also other materials that reflect immediate state of the game and some particular industry trend or practice or sector or something. So they, most of the time, they are not really remain for a long time. So I think to a degree, Gen AI syllabus reflects a very narrow current state of the large language model, not even just large language models, but more specifically the state of foundational models. And that's why information present there is very narrowly focused. On the other hand, CTI has a longer history. It originally was developed by 3 different boards, 3 different organizations, including Alliance for Quality. It was originally called A4Q AI tester. So it covers several years were put into developing this ISTQB syllabus for AI testing. It is more foundational. It covers a larger set of topics. So I believe it is more applicable and more long-term investment to study specifically this one. And of course, I also think that foundational models are very important and very advanced technology that we now all have to deal with. And I do believe that it helps to have foundational knowledge in machine learning, in software testing, in order to deal with such systems. And I hope the book gives enough background information to at least remove the, I would say, lowest level of ignorance about quality characteristics of complex systems, or about machine learning, and of course about AI technologies.
Thank you very much. That's really useful. You actually covered off one of my later questions there, Iosif, so thank you for that. And it partly covered it off because I was going to ask whether is there one key skill to really focus on here? Like, would it be data science? Would it be software testing? Would it be machine learning? I mean, what do you think about, as a follow-up to what you just said, the role of data science in between? Is that sit between machine learning and software testing? Is that an essential skill?
Well, it is an essential skill. One thing that people might not be aware of is that Cam Kenner, when he introduced the term exploratory testing, he had inspiration in exploratory data analysis. So he was looking how specialists in other research areas explore the data before turning it into something. And now with the modern technology stacks, we made a full circle. So now most of our software that we use day to day is relying on huge volumes of data. And now exploratory data analysis is a part of exploratory testing. And the key skill for software testers is, of course, ability to carry out skeptical technical exploration and critical thinking around complex software.
Fantastic. I'm going to write that down. I like those. Critical thinking, particularly. That was fantastic. There's a question come in about whether you could expand on the actual outcomes, such as what kind of improvement is there in coverage metrics, what kind of improvements in terms of defect leakage reduction, and how value has been measured and or communicated to stakeholders. I don't know who'd like to answer that question.
It is related to the real life project overall, and how you share the results of the test coverage, and how it's with the use of AI, whether it's the metrics display. I think it's something related to that. Iosif, do you want to address how it's connected with the work we do? Yeah.
Yes. So exact from motto for many years was build software to test software, and it reflected that complex systems require sophisticated methods for their exploration. And with AI is software. So some people think that AI is magic, but in reality, AI is software. And software can be used to support a number of activities. One of the activities that software can support is, of course, software testing itself. So we classify the value of software testing from its information service perspective. So each software testing should be judged by the quality of information that it provides. And of course, there are several dimensions of value that can be produced through information. It is first the information itself. So how accurate, how relevant it is, and how interpretable it is. So when we are looking into the outputs of machine learning models, we essentially are looking at the same type of object as when we are looking at outputs of large-scale test libraries. So in both cases, we have a huge volume of data that is somehow organized for stakeholders for their exploration. Ability to look at both modern machine learning enabled systems and large scale test libraries enables us to find similarities and to find principles that are applicable in both domains. Some of the ways to improve software testing, apart from bringing better information, is of course to make it faster and to make it cheaper. And of course, a substantial cost element and speed element is related to cognitive functions present in humans and the time humans have to allocate to explore something. And with more sophisticated technology, it is possible to translate large volumes of data into smaller snippets or artifacts for humans to focus their attention and extract more relevant information from these snippets. So the idea of using AI in software testing is to be able to convert huge data set or huge corpus of data into something that humans will be able to explore better and come to better decisions. Think about it like CERN Hadron Collider. And Hadron Collider is where elementary particles collide, and then at very high energies. And then during every collision, other particles flow in all possible directions. Then there are sensors and traps that are gathering the data from collisions, and this data is used to better understand the reality. So software testing is the same process. It is understanding the reality of software. And by using machine learning based methods, we are trying to replicate what other disciplines are trying to do using high volumes of data analysis, such as in CERN, to explore the nature of the universe, something like that. So is it possible to get to better coverage? Yes. So tools are something that improves our ability to explore and change reality. From microscope to a hammer, humans were able to get better results from environment with the tools. And AI technology is, of course, a very powerful and dangerous tool that we can use to improve variety of areas, including the depth, speed, and the cost of our software testing effort.
Thank you for
But
that.
in addition to what Iosif been covering, just to mention that using AI doesn't mean that actually it will help you to speed up the process, or it will impact in some kind of percentage on your overall software testing project. It gives another layer of complexity, yes, but it also helps to make the coverage more optimized, full, reliable, and all the tools that we've been using so far with the projects we had at ExacPro, we have realized that it's dangerous, as Iosif said, it's a dangerous tool, but it helps a lot in improving the quality of what you do with the coverage, improving the coverage metrics, and but it will not prove, software testing will never prove that there is no bugs in your system. So AI will not help with that either. We can only prove that there is some bugs that we found. We can show those, but there is no way we can ensure, anyone can ensure that there is no bugs within the system at all.
Yes.
We want to find them, exactly.
So I'm going to ask a question before we move on to an additional question. So obviously you guys have got a lot of experience in kind of the financial and trading systems, and perhaps other people would be working on systems which aren't they're non-financial systems. Are there any similarities, any differences that you would expect people to find in going about there? Anything with respect to regulations, let's just say, or non-regulated, as it were, in terms of the application of AI testing within normal software?
So I would say financial sector is at a sweet spot between two different poles. So on one hand, we have web startups or games. Well, maybe some games are more important than others, but applications that do not have immediate impact on humans. Well, on the other hand, there are industries like transportation, medicine, nuclear power, where problems result potentially in life and safety issues. And financial sector, we have to operate in between, and most of the time it means that we have both disadvantages from both sides. So there is not enough budget in order to proper explore something and verify something. And on the other hand, because human lives are not necessarily at stake, it is accepted. But regulation in financial sector is, of course, very strict. It is principle-based regulation, and that any organization should take responsibility for their systems. It's not possible to outsource responsibility, and in financial sector, companies need to make sure that their systems operate in controllable, resilient manner. So to a degree, software testing in financial sector covers both, both sides of the spectrum. We are not like medicine or healthcare, and we are not like startup websites. So to a degree, methods applicable to financial sector, they are applicable to other sides of the spectrum. But of course, things that people have to use in transportation most of the time should require more rigorous process, and most of the time they are better funded because, well, human life is the most important thing. So it makes sense that in life and safety situation, it is better to allocate more time and more money to preserve and protect human life. So it is important for software tester not just to look on their own domain, but to look at other domains as well, to capture good ideas, to understand the differences. Historically, we spent most of our effort working in electronic trading, but we now starting a number of projects in other areas as well, and we hope that our expertise will be applicable there.
Thank you very much. So yeah, don't play dice with transportation units, but you know, I think the financial sector, as you say, is in a good spot to learn from. So that's fantastic to find out. So we have another question actually, and I'm not sure whether this is more about data science now. It's like, what level of Python knowledge is required to be able to get the best of the book in terms of understanding machine learning?
Okay, you don't need to be a professional in Python to be able to solve our hands-on exercises. I think it's enough to have some basic knowledge in Python to be able to solve them. And our book has some solution hints which will help you to solve the tasks. And also, if you have some problems, you can go to our GitHub repository and look the solutions. So I think to solve the tasks, you have no problems with this.
Super.
You can also ask ChatGPT. It is very good in Python.
It's also one of the possible ways to solve the problem.
Just try not to ask ChatGPT every single time when you have question, otherwise you will lose time and not learn anything. Yes.
Smashing.
Just to clarify, the book itself doesn't require any Python knowledge. It's the hands-on exercises that we included in the book. That's where it's needed.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Dim.
Smashing. Okay. And is there, I mean, you mentioned, you know, I think you mentioned when you were talking through the book's coverage, how you sort of take bias out. Now, I kind of wondered if you could expand on that maybe a little bit with respect to how to identify it and whether it's something that you can take out of a data set and use for testing, or if it's something that's going to inherently sit there and you just have to work around.
Iosif, I think you had the practical exercises of ensuring not to be not the data to be biased.
Anne-Marie and I had interviewed a number of people about bias in AI system. We have a very nice recording available with Olivier Denou, who I hope also already read our book and even commented on it. Yes. So I think it is not possible to remove bias from data because we are humans are biased and our reality is biased. It doesn't mean that we should not try. But even there is, I believe our interview with Anna-Maria with Olivia was an hour and a half or even longer. So it was quite a long discussion. And there were a number of topics related to different cases, from compass system to other software systems that showed high degrees of, I would say, of what we can consider to be unethical treatment of the subjects or objects inside their systems. There are many courses available from top companies in our industry like Microsoft and Google on removing bias from AI systems and data sets, and then both companies release software that from the first glance look like extremely biased or something like that. So it is not a topic that can be treated lightly. It is not a topic that can be solved lightly and easily. So it is a problem, and it requires a lot of research. Requires practice, and of course, software testers need to have a grasp of at least foundational concepts in this area.
Smashing. No, that's that. Thank you for dealing with that. I mean, it was just I know it's a passing comment, but obviously at BCS we're very keen to assure the outcomes of using AI, whether you're a software developer, a software tester, business analyst, or otherwise, and obviously promote ethical, accountable, and professional behaviors throughout. So that's the core purpose of BCS in this kind of context. So I'm going to ask tricky questions like that just of everybody, just to be super clear. You know, well done for helping to deal with that. I guess the next and possibly final question, we don't have anything else actually at the moment, is kind of built on a comment that somebody's made. You know, what does the future look like for AI in software testing? Will it be, you know, will we be seeing, you know, people working with bots and taking on much of the roles that have been taken by other software testers or teams in the past, or how do you think it will play out?
I just wanted to add to what Iosif been mentioning, and what the question is very relevant from you, Ian, about the biases and the use of AI within the organization. So we've been, when we talk about that, and by the way, I have shared the link to the AI biases unleashed with Olivier Dinu that Iosif mentioned. Worth checking if you wish to know more about this topic overall. But we see the tendency that everyone are talking about AI nowadays, and everyone are looking into ways of AI adoption within their organization. But even industry bodies like Central Bank, BIC, BIS shared the report saying that they have survey among central banks around the region, stating that everyone using AI for chatbots or for any other communication, but not for complex tasks so far. And there are plenty incident databases related to AI out there. One of them, which I found within our materials, is the AI risk repository. I'll make sure to share the link in the chat. And Real Harm. It's called Real Harm, a collection of real-world language model application failures, which is available publicly. And the AI risk repository actually compiles all the risks with in the public domain, and failures publicly available to very well-known companies such as Air Canada, McDonald's, Amazon, and others. So all of it shows that yes, everyone are looking into replacing people within AI with AI, but this is not now, and this is not in the nearest future, because you need to be very careful with the AI adoption, and that's why we created this book. That's why we're talking about AI adoption challenges or everywhere, and we're talking about the importance of software testing within this process. Within the usage of bots, chatbots, and all these things might replace people, but AI creates new opportunities for a new careers passes for people, and we believe that it will not be replaced with people. AI will not replace people. With AI technology, with the AI adoption, it will create new positions, new roles. And we all need to take action right now to look through it and keep the pace of learning AI with as the technology develops. That's the message out there for everyone.
Sure.
Smashing.
It is
Thank you.
difficult to make predictions, especially about the future, but I think it is pretty clear that AI technologies are transformational and they will have a very heavy impact on society. So maybe it is not, well, I think it is already visible now that there is impact already and it will only increase. So everything around us will be software, and exploring that volume of software that will have huge impact on our lives will of course require at least better software testing, and we do hope that using good software, using AI technologies to support software testing can help going forward, and it is important.
Smashing. Thank you, Anna Maria, for those links in the chat. I hope everybody can see them as well. They're really useful to see, what other people are experiencing in this kind of area. And obviously, the key thing about history is trying to avoid making the same mistakes other people have made. And the key point of the book is to try and learn how to avoid making those same mistakes, or at least to learn what happens when you encounter something which is not something you've expected or not something you've experienced before. And that's what learning is fundamentally all about. So I'd just like to take the opportunity now to thank Iosif, Anna Maria, Iuliia, and Dmitrii for joining us on this call. Thank you all also for attending and for all your good questions and your interest in this area. And yes, I very much look forward to seeing you at the next BCS author webinar, or perhaps when you have a next question for another book along, you can come and contact us and see what you'd like. We can see what you'd like to cover. Over to the team, and then we'll finish.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening.
Smashing. I'm going to need to finish now. So thank you all for attending, and I shall see you at the next one. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.